right, what's going on? Happy Saturday. What do we have here? We have here 1,200 cubic meters of concrete being pumped into a core footing for what will be a 40-ish story high-rise tower out in Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada here. So we have an array of Putzmeister concrete pumps here. We have a 47 meter Z Putzmeister. We have a 39 meter Z Putzmeister back there with a detachable boom and the 13 HPD pump kit. We have a conform 22 meter spider boom down below there. We have a 56 meter Z Putzmeister up top here. And in the background we have two Putzmeister 39 meter placing booms on the RS850 pedestal and tower. So what we've got going on is, let's get a little better vantage point and we'll do some explaining. Let me get down low so I can do some explaining. There's a lot to explain here today. We got some funky stuff going on. So the 47 meter pump is pumping into the Y splitter valve. You see that down there? Splits off into two separate lines. The reason why, because this is the first lift of this pour, we're only pouring halfway up. The second half gets poured next Saturday. The engineers really don't want that top mat of rebar to get contaminated with concrete. So we need to poke the hose down between the bar to feed the concrete through without getting that top mat dirty. So because of all the starting and stopping associated with doing that, what we've done is we've doubled the lines. So we have the boom pump splitting off into two separate lines, which will effectively cut in half the amount of times we have to start and stop the pump to reconfigure the line. It's working fantastically well. The clutch thing to these, or key thing to these, is you have to have equal amount of back pressure on each system. So if you have 40 feet on one side of the splitter, you need to have 40 feet of line on the other. If there's an unequal amount of back pressure, the flow will be exponentially diverted to the side with less pressure. E.g., if we have 60 feet of hose on this side and only 40 on that side, about 95% of our flow is going to go to the side with less hose and less restriction. So you got to keep things equal and balanced. But that aside from that, this works awesome. Spider boom working around the core there. He started off with some waterproof mix. Had to pour some waterproof mix in around the core. It's the first 250 meters of concrete. Now that he's out of that, he's pouring the same regular, I believe, 40 MPa mix, 45 MPa actually, that the other two pumps are pouring as well. So he'll concentrate mostly in the middle there. The 56 meter pump is going to work over mostly on this side of the crane. He can tuck in behind to get that little bit. The spider boom, as you can see, comes up a little bit short on. Actually looks like they're making it work. And the 47 meter he'll plug away over on this side here. So lots going on here. Pumps are working hard. A lot of concrete to do. Huge project. There's probably going to be, we calculate, about 100,000 cubic meters of concrete in this whole project by the time the parkade is done and all three towers are done. So lots and lots and lots of concrete. We'll take a walk around here. We'll walk around the three pumps, kind of show you what's going on. And I will go down in the hole. We'll get a perspective from down there. And I also brought the drone, and you know that we'll be flying that around. Oh, mic on horn honk. That means he's stopping the pump to relocate and drop the hose through the steel. So he does that to let the ready mix drivers know, give them a little bit of heads up so they know to stop the drum, and helps to keep from overfilling the hopper. Keeps our hopper cleaner, and it's kind of a courtesy thing for them too. So this is a 56Z Putzmeister. It's got the 18 cell pump kit, so it's got a little bit more volume output than the other two machines. She gets down pretty good. When Mike gets restarted here, we'll check out on his volume output display and see what she's putting out. Let's check out the size of the dunnage pad here. Steel plate with timbers on top. You don't see that too often, but this is all engineered. So this is a roadway that they purposely built just for access for the site here. So Mike's gonna swing down. See if we can't zoom in here. See if we can get a little zoom action. There we go. We got the hose in through the rebar there. And we're not setting any records on this one. 4-inch hoses on the end of the pumps. Reducing down to 4-inch just to get between the steel. See what it says here. meters are always a little optimistic. It's probably really more like 80 meters an hour. I'll show you what the concrete looks like. Hey buddy, I came to film your concrete. Looks good. That's a 20 mil aggregate, which is our standard size aggregate out here. We don't get a lot of jobs that use larger than 20 mil. These trucks carry, I believe, up to 10.5 cubic meters, but 10 is kind of the norm, and they'll drop that booster axle down if they have anything more than 3 meters on, I believe. Today they're only carrying 8 cubic meters because we have a really, really wet slump, and there's some hills that are incurred during travel to the site here, so they only go 8 meters. The wetter it is, the more chance there is of it spilling out the back of the drum, and that's a bad scene. We don't want that. So we'll come down now to our 47 meter pump. Also set up on some big steel plates here, big dunnage plates. If you're wondering why he's not tighter on that sea can to get a little more reach, you'll see when we're down below, we're really stretched, we're fighting for reach. That has some hydro equipment inside, so we have to keep our boom 10 feet off of that. That's why we don't come down lower. Because somebody's gonna ask when I get down below and shoot from down there and you see the angle of the boom, they'll say, why didn't you reach in further? Well, that's why. Remember what I said right here, right now. Okay, we'll mosey on over here to the 39 meter pump. A little better perspective. You can see what I was saying there, how that boom is really stretched to get to the edge of that core footing there to connect up to the line. And there's lots of reach left in the boom, but like I said, we need that 10 feet over that box or the container that carries the electrical equipment. So that's why it looks kind of funny. You can see down there they got an elbow off each end of that hose from the Y splitter, so they can point that down between the rebar. You'll see when I get down there how tight that steel is. Yeah, pretty cool vantage point here. There's Dan's pump. Dan has his boom positioned like that as such that when they start and stop, there's more of a restriction. The concrete doesn't free fall as much, and they don't end up with as much dripping out of the spider boom, and it mitigates air pockets and voids in the line whenever they start and stop the pump. Otherwise that boom would drain out and they'd have a pocket of air, and they start pumping again. That pocket of air compresses and exits the end of the hose inevitably, and poof, it can be quite violent. So that's why he's got that very calculated boom position. Yeah, look at the size of this. This is phase 2 of that first phase there. Vancouver, Burnaby, the lower mainland is going crazy with construction. It's crazy. Over here we got the 39 meter Z Putzmeister with the 13 HPD high pressure pump kit on it. This one you can see, it's a detachable boom. That boom comes off the truck, it'll go right on one of those pedestal towers, and the same day you can fly it right back and go do your regular boom pumping work tomorrow. It's got a 137 cubic meter per hour pump kit, a high pressure kit. You switch the hydraulic lines over, and it still puts out close to 100 meters an hour, and it'll pump 50 plus stories in the air. So a very, very versatile machine. And he's reaching down into the hard line. We go out to the spider boom, and away we go. But yeah, quite an operation here. We got all kinds of variety of equipment on this one, that's for sure. Big dunnage plates down even for this little guy. Because the engineered setback, because the excavation, very specific regulations for how far back and how big the dunnage pad has to be. Have you ever seen a dunnage pad that big on a 40 meter or smaller class boom pump? I can't say that I have, but more is always better. Love it. Okay, we'll go down below. I'll show you what's happening down below. I gotta get some action from this vantage point. Love it. All right, here we go, ground zero. See how the 39-meter boom is tied in with the hard line, which feeds the spider boom. When they go through the placing boom there, they tie in right there. And up, up, and up. And pretty soon, once they start jacking that boom, lifting that boom with the building, they'll just run a hard line straight across the street level and then go up the building. So imagine that this should be coming out of here pretty soon. But typically what we do in our market, we'll reach down into the hole and connect up to the boom until it gets to street level at least. Because this pipeline is staying in, they built a road right over top of it. All top quality Conform brand pipeline and components. None of the cheap knockoff junk. Best stuff in the business right there, hands down. It's a little spider boom unit. It's got the hydraulic legs on it, so even though the one footing is lower than this one, you can adjust the legs to compensate and get the machine level. It's got a small gasoline powered engine on it that runs the hydraulics for the boom functions. It also has capabilities to plug in, I believe it's 480 volt three-phase power and run it electrically. They do have diesel options as well, but I believe the gas is more popular because it's just more readily available on a job site. They run a lot of the other power tools on gasoline as well, so. So we'll cut over into the pour and get a look at what we're doing. And that is 22 meters reach on the spider boom here. Yeah, so you can see the absolutely insane amount of rebar in here. Look at this. It's like a rebar rainforest. But yeah, there's the two hoses, each end with the 4-inch elbow on it. As soon as we get some concrete here to the 47 meter, we'll get pumping again. We'll show you how this all works. But I'll show you the valve that we actually fabricated this. Conforms does make this. They just don't stock it. So it would have been a couple weeks for us to get it, and we only had a couple days. So we were able to build one in our yard out of some 5-inch heavy-duty pipe, some quarter-wall pipe, and we put metric ends on it. I do not expect these pieces to last long right at the diversion point there. I think that would wear out quite quickly. I'm thinking if we saw more than 2,500 meters through this thing, I would be surprised. We're only going to use it a couple times here, probably a couple pours, and then we'll measure it out, reassess. You can kind of hear it as it goes through that valve. They're moving that hose over. We'll point that elbow through the bar, get it where they want it. Get it right in between those tight bars there, which is why we needed that elbow. There you go. You'd have a heck of a time bending the rubber hose through there. And here we go, pump on. Pump on and we'll show you the flow, the respective flow side for side. That's that side. We'll go over here. And that's that side. Working good. You can see Mike is just dropped through the steel. Just goes around and drops in a lot easier than what we're doing on the other side with the line. of course. Fortunately, the available setup area, we're not able to get pumps in here big enough to reach, so there's always a way. Yeah, see how deep that is? That's 12 feet deep. So we're coming up, I believe it's about halfway today. About halfway up. Then we come in next Saturday, fill the other half, and that's where they'll do the top up and the finished slab. Yeah, very, very cool. All right, well, just like that, I think it's time to go up and get the drone out. So I'll leave you with the drone footage. This video is going to air Saturday, the Saturday before the week of World of Concrete. I will be down there in the Putzmeister booth with our shiny new 56-meter Putzmeister. I'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 10 a.m. in the booth. Come by, say hi. I'll be there, Dan will be there, a whole bunch of guys from the videos. Maury will be down there, the whole crew, Jeff from Muddy Feet. So I'd love to meet you guys. And yeah, till then, keep on pumping, and we'll end this one off with some kick-arse drone footage. Catch you on the next one.
working.
You found Danny, was too busy working. Here he is.
Here I am.
What do we got going,
We're back.
Dan? What do you have to say? Are you happy with how it's going?
Yeah, it's going really well. We've got probably only got like 200, 250 meters to go.
What do you think of the Y valve setup?
It's working great. I say we use it again on the next half.
How's it going? No, that's for Instagram. This is YouTube. What's the YouTube one?
Keep on pumping.
Till next time.
Till next time.